Your first assignment was in Chile shortly after Nixon ordered a failed coup. You were there when the military actually overthrew Allende. And one of the first chapters of your book, you set the record straight. You say the CIA ultimately had no role in Pinochet coming to power. Why did you feel it was so important to clarify that point?
Now, when I was in Chile, it was my first assignment. I actually was on the desk in Washington when the first failed coup took place. But then I was assigned to the field. I was in the station. I went with the chief of station to many of his meetings. I've read the file. At that time, the thought that what I wrote and what took place, the fact that it would occur in my lifetime, it was unthinkable. I thought secrets were meant to be kept secret. So by if I have the year right, around 1975, the Church Commission looked into Chile, what took place. And I found it abhorrent that Congress would be reviewing it, to be in the public domain. But what's interesting is the years go by, and in the process of writing the book, I went back and reread the Church report. It's actually a very good report. And I think they did a good job describing. I was having trouble about having secrets in the public. In 2000, the US government decided to declassify the CIA's role in Chile, and all the cables, my cables, or some of them are in the book. Literally, what I wrote is in the book and what took place. And what you see is that the Church Commission and what's in the declassified documents is that there was a bad attempt at the direction of the White House, despite the local chief's disagreement. It was a failure. But what people don't realize is right after that, the White House sent a cable saying, try and support the opposition media, the opposition political parties, any interest group that's opposing Allende, stop it from turning communist, but do not plot with the military. And most people don't realize that that was a golden rule. How did CIA find out that the military in Chile was going to move? And it wasn't from the military. I was enjoying a wonderful Italian lunch in downtown Santiago. And my agent, who was not a military officer but was close to them, couldn't reach me. So he reached Pat, my wife.
Your wife.
My staunch ally. And he said to her, tell Jack, I'm getting out of town, I'm leaving. But there's going to be a coup in 3 days. And it'll begin in Valparaiso, and there'll be an announcement on Radio Agricultura. When you look at the book, there is that cable that's there. Now later in the afternoon, I got another source, also not the military. So even as late as 3 days before the coup, the CIA did not know what the military was up to. Now there is a question that reasonable people can disagree. How much did CIA's working with the parties and the media influence the environment? And again, there's room for reasonable people to debate. I honestly believe where I stand is at the end of the day it was more than anything else Allende's economic policies that brought the collapse of the economy. And then the second thing is the military as an institution started to fall apart. And then you had, at that point, junior officers plotting to overthrow the government. And there was a small group of tank commanders that moved on the palace, and that was in June. The CIA's reporting said, well, they were talked back into the tank by the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, so Allende's going to last till the election, and we need to prepare for that. What we didn't know is the generals went back after that and said, our own institution is falling apart. Therefore, we're going to take charge of the coup. So there was those two principal considerations that I think more than anything drove to the military to move.